description, because it is. It's like, and it kind of still is down there.
For sure.
You know, like, luckily, I mean, obviously you've taken that brainchild and transitioned it into a new concept with some of the dank flavors that you had over there, including the French fries that we used to jerk off to online.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this has got like a different vibe, you know? So like, obviously, I'm not going to say it's pandemic proof, but there's a lot of Lexuses and Mercedes over here, and a lot of kids buying from the North Face and Burton shop. So, like, you know, we've kind of seen, you know, this place has kind of been fruitful, and it's growing, and including you joining the neighborhood. Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, one of the things, too, with being in the space at Green Seed prior to pandemic and then through the pandemic, because I was also managing that kind of ebb and flow there as well, is that, you know, we kind of had an idea as to what it would look like. I mean, overall, the bottom line is, like, there's no knowing, and there still really is none, you know? I mean, I think that there was this idea that if we got to, you know, vaccination, that it would start to turn. And then I would say, and I think that you'd probably have a lot of your guests agree, that 21 was probably the worst of it all, because it just, like, the hope disappeared, right? Like, we felt like that we were almost there, and then, like, 21 felt like just the pits. Just in terms of, like, the relentless grind, you know, staffing issues, labor shortages, and the food shortages, and the supply chain issues, and all of that just kind of, like, led to all these ebb and flows. Yeah, and so it still doesn't feel like it's, you know, there's a real, out of the woods. Right, yeah. There's a real end in sight. So I think at this level, or at this time, everyone feels probably a little bit more like they're more well equipped, you know, to handle it, in terms of just, like, the stress and strain is a little bit alleviated, just in terms of, like, the comfort of dealing with it and going through it year over year.
Is it more of, like, being able to be, like, not necessarily comfortable, but being fluid? You know, like, you have you have to kind of always be on your toes. You can't ever kind of be like, oh, let's sit back. We've kind of found what the new normal is.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the constant challenge. I mean, I would say even this week and last week, you know, with the mask mandate removal, it leads to a boost for everyone.
Were the crowds larger last week just because the little sticky wasn't on the window?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
I mean, no, I believe it, though, because, and at the same time, at least you and your staff aren't having to police somebody's policies.
For sure.
You know, like, if you don't agree with Hancock and fucking Polis, I get it. You know, like, I understand they're trying to do it for the better good, but nothing has been done the right way by the government since, like, 1780.
Yeah.
So I don't have any faith in anybody at any level. But, you know, it's nice that you don't have to be the policeman. You know, maybe a couple stewardess or flight attendants are still fucked out there, as they're going to have to continue to do it. But you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, my overall sentiment with that shit is, like, if there's signs all over the door and they're still walking in without masks, they're not gonna, like, give a fuck what you have to say to them, right? They're looking for a fight. They're looking for the confrontation.
They want to.
And so, like, it's at this point, I encourage everyone to just leave it alone. You know,
like, if he's wearing a "Let's Go Brandon" shirt, just let him go. Yeah. Let him order his chicken fuckers and get out of here. Yeah. You know, I get it completely. No, okay. So, but y'all found a new home. Obviously, it's been a stormy couple years.
Sure.
But this new concept is fucking fantastic. And so I kind of want to talk about it. You know, like, a lot of folks, when they come into Rhino, they're either caught at the beginning before the roads are closed, you know, but if you get to DCM, y'all are tucked in the back, near the back sexy entrance near Noble Riot. So for those that are listening, come through that entrance. But y'all got y'all's own thing going on over here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, you know, I'd say pre-pandemic, DCM felt like a little bit like the hub, right? Like the base camp of Rhino. And I feel like it's elongated, like, down as you go up the streets.
Shake Shack.
But it's definitely moved down the block a little, which, you know, I think there's still plenty of I mean, obviously Crush not existing has been, you know, one hit for the community at some level. But yeah, so, I mean, I think that, you know, what we're trying to do in the space and what we've always tried to do, is really be a place for the community.
Are you cold?
I'm a little cold, but it's cool.
You want to switch sweatshirts in?
No,
I have a really cool T-shirt on, and we can pause.
You want to pause it, and I'll go right and grab one?
I was like, I forgot what we were talking about, but I'm glad you have a jacket. I don't do a lot of editing, so we'll just pick it up where we left off.
I think you were just kind of talking about, like, what I was trying to do with the space.
Oh yeah, what are we trying to do?
Transition, yeah. I mean, I think for me, the fundamental thing is always about, like, supporting the neighborhood. I mean, one of the things that I feel like we've really done an okay job or a decent job at with Green Seed is is being here for our neighbors, and whether that's people living in and around the neighborhood, or even the people that are working in and around the neighborhood as well. Just providing some quality sustenance, and so at Lunchboxx, I think that's a big part of the focus is to kind of be whatever it is that you need. One of the things that's unique is we have that rotisserie,
so
right?
Y'all do like gibbers and stuff too?
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. I didn't know that. You're revolutionary.
But yeah, I mean, we've got like the whole idea of this market was supposed to be like shoppable and with retail and a place to get your meats and your vegetables and all that kind of stuff, right? So we wanted to have like kind of occupy that prepared food side. So I mean, that's where the deli case comes into play. We have all those like fresh deli salads that we're making every day, rotisserie chickens, meats and proteins by the pound, and then killer plates and sandwiches.
So someone literally asked me this the other day, Instagram wise, but like the term is like a cantina, or something like almost like not necessarily a bodega, but a cantina where you can get a month's worth of food,
Sure.
or you go for the week and they
Right.
have the stuff. So y'all are doing something like that where you can come in here. I mean, obviously if you go to Tammons or whatever Fritzy's place is, I mean, that shit is expensive. But,
Right.
like, we can get reasonably
For
cost
sure.
food here from
Yeah.
y'all. Like,
Yeah.
y'all are providing, like, normal, down-to-earth sustenance foods. Like, we have a spread here of chicken, steak, roasted chicken, and, like, healthy vegetables. And
sure.
then also dank french fries that you brought up from Brass Tacks.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not dumb. But that's a great concept, because people do need that, like, one-stop shop where you can still hit the necessities, but not necessarily need to get, fucking Captain Crunch or
For sure.
Doritos. You can get just or if you left something out at the grocery.
Well, the one thing that, like, for instance, my wife and I experienced a lot, and I think a lot of us did through the pandemic, is that, like, those moments of like, I don't want to cook, I don't really want to, like, work hard for dinner, I don't really want to spend $1 bazillion, I just want something simple, easy, that's light, fresh, and will, fill me up. And so I think that that's kind of the space that we're looking to occupy. You could get, like, for instance, this Medi plate, hummus, baba, Israeli salad, and rotisserie chicken.
And it's, relatively healthy, depending on how many of those pita squares you shove in your mouth at one time, like I just did during the last question. But, it's a concept where, you're not cheating yourself. You're not going to the Shake Shack necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
but if you want to,
but if you want to, we got you.
You got some stoner
For sure.
rhythms in here.
Yeah, we don't hesitate there.
I mean, people that bring avocado to my table, I'm usually like, okay, they're more health conscious than not. So
Okay.
you have the healthy options for folks.
For
the
sure.
Medi plates, but you also have this girl.
Yeah, the little sticky, icky popcorn chicken.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about. So is this are we doing stoner concepts here? Are you like, oh, we might as well hit up the Cali's crowd?
Yeah, for sure, a little.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I think that that goes back to it, right? It's part of the neighborhood, right? We cater to all. I mean, this is a pull from Brass. So this is the sauce that we use for our sticky wings over at Brass, and we're just doing it nugget style.
It's a little cleaner for my fingers here.
Yeah, right?
We can still hold the microphones and the next guest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed.
And it all was built around the idea of all the wing shortages that we were going through. So
How has that been? Navigating the
Honestly,
perils of the supply chain, and I mean now we have Canada up there like blocking roads from the third largest ports or like commercial interstate traffic or whatever.
yeah, crazy.
How has it been for you? Is it tough? Like, have you had people bitch about pricing of fried chicken nuggets or anything along those lines, or is life treating you okay?
I think that, I mean,
everyone's
hearing about it, right? Like, I think that at this point, it's kind of just what it is. I mean, obviously, the cost of labor has gone up relatively significantly. The cost of food has gone up relatively significantly. Honestly, the cost of plastics, like to-go materials, is astronomical.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And so all those things are, affecting bottom lines. And so, yeah, I mean, you keep hearing about inflation across the country. So it's definitely hitting our industry pretty hard. So, I think it's a little bit of par for the course, and it's just kind of what it is. I think that at some level, depending on what you're talking about or what you're looking at, but, I think that food's been undervalued probably for a while now, just in terms of, like, what we expect to pay for, like, a cheeseburger, for instance.
It's because everybody uses places like fucking McDonald's. Like, I can get a burger from McDonald's for $1. Why do I have to pay $7 here? Be like, motherfucker, that's not even meat. That's pink slime and jizz.
But even the fast food shit's expensive now.
Is it?
It's not cheap.
My Popeyes has not changed prices.
Really?
I'm like
Popeyes is the go-to.
I'm like religiously.
That's fair. That's a Southern thing.
I
It's
told
fair.
the CEO, I was like, I'm gonna fellatio you for a free sponsorship, and he was like, sorry, dude, not interested. And I was like, it's free. But yeah, shout out to Popeyes.
Popeyes, yeah.
Their app is fantastic. I know that we're not supposed to promote it, but at the same time, if you're trying to support local dank chicken, this is better than Megan Thee Stallion's box deal.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But
We'll tag her in this. She's a listener.
She's a Houstonian too.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, are you a Popeyes guy as well?
Honestly, I didn't eat a ton of fried chicken as a kid.
What did your parents?
My parents are
don't say vegetarian.
No,
they would be pissed.
They're the Pacific Coasters. So I got a P&W and a NorCal dad. So the fast food game was not something that I was very, very much exposed to as a kid.
But and I guess we can touch on Houston. Their food scene's popping too. Like, they
crazy.
have that Asian Cajun vibe down. Like, these posers here in Denver aren't doing it right, just because the Cajun flavors are off. But at the same time, down there, it's just heaters, and it's obviously a huge city. Do you go back often and eat down there?
Anytime I go back, I try to eat.
R&D.
Yeah, and actually, so when we opened Brass, we did a New York trip. Where we crushed bars and restaurants all over town. And then one of my cons was to get them to go to Austin and Houston. Because I thought that, like, there was a part of the space that had, like, kind of some like, Texas country vibes. So we did do that, and we actually went to an Asian Cajun place.
Dude, it's so heater down there.
Or Viet Cajun, I guess.
Yeah, Viet.
But yeah, and it's great. They say that, at least, everyone says what they say, but...
Very good call.
Yeah.
Not on this podcast, we don't. We cut shit all the time.
That it's like one of the more diverse cultures or cultural cities in the country. And, I left when I was 18, so I didn't get a chance to kind of experience it
as like a chef or a culinary savant,
right? As an adult, and really enjoy it in the same way. But whenever I do go back, I try to eat as much as I possibly can. It's and again, it's the same idea, like, as you have in a lot of other areas, right? Like, the accessibility of quality product is pretty insane.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. We harped on the accessibility of quality products over there. Let's talk a little bit about your neighbors. I love to shit on the people at Federales over there. They have just tainted this neighborhood. I fucking hate them, and I hope they go back to Chicago. We've got killer tacos right over there at La Diablo, and I can't swear by them enough, but I keep seeing these fucking things on the internet, and the patio's packed, and it drives me crazy. Who's your favorite neighbor?
Here? Like, where do I go to eat?
Yeah, let's say you had a day off and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go support the folks that support me.
Yeah,
what's your first stop?
Honestly, this block is pretty.
It's heater.
It's pretty amazing.
If you go all the way down to Downing, you're just playing the hits.
Yeah, it's true.
What is it? Fish and Beer,
Hop Alley.
Rest in Peace, Bar Helix. Dude, that place is great.
Working Class, Car Driver. It's kind of endless.
So
I actually just went to La Diablo the other night.
Yeah?
And it was delicious.
Did you go for Pozole 2-for-1
night?
I did. Thursdays?
Was I there? No, it was a Tuesday, I think. Pozole 2-for-1 is the move.
On Thursdays?
Okay.
La Diablo on the corner of, like, Park and 20-some... Or no.
Yeah, that's right. Larimer and, like, 22nd.
Yeah, Larimer. Yeah, that's right. It's just awesome. And then on Wednesdays, they whip out, when the weather's nice, like this nice warm day in February.
They have a back patio, yeah?
Yeah, and they have a killer. They whip out the Al Pastor, like, spigot.
Oh, nice.
And they have the torch on it. Like, it's a dab lover's paradise. It's great.
Nice.
You can sit there and great mezcal. But yeah, so I just
when I used to live here, my wife and I used to live up the street. The walk to Working Class was a standard move.
Shout out Dana. We were there the other day. Those fish and the mac and cheese.
Yeah, and I'm good, thank you though. But as a Southern man, the dirty rice, man.
See, do you like that dirty rice?
I think it's good dirty rice. Yeah. You don't like it?
It's not my jam.
That's fair.
I like it, but sometimes I feel like when you have dirty rice, there's little specks in there that are harder,
okay.
And so it makes you think that maybe it's undercooked rice, and then if you get an undercooked rice, it like breaks on your tooth.
Sure.
And you're like, this texture's not right. That's my personal opinion. That's why I stick to the greens and the mac and cheese.
Fair.
And the cornbread.
And
obviously.
the empanadas.
The blue corns?
Blue corns.
God. Dana, you're a wizard. I know you listen to this. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Okay, so you've been a good sport. We've talked a little bit about the restaurant. You're in the home stretch now. I told you I'd give you a sign. This is the sign.
Deal.
Okay, so these questions are in honor or in memoriam for my co-host who, if it sold more record or ad deals, we'd say he's dead, but he's just not here today.
Okay.
So these are great questions. First one is, what is your happy hour of choice in the city?